everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast with me, your host, Mudahar. We've got your other co-host, Nux Taku, and of course, your third co-host, Oompaville, ladies and gentlemen. That might be the most impromptu start to any podcast that we've had, but we had a lot to kind of discuss over the week. But I want to start off with asking you guys how your week is so far.
My week's pretty okay. All right. No bomb threats yet, so that's pretty good.
That's the barometer for good week.
It is. I'm telling you, man. I didn't have to run into the bomb shelter a single time in the last week.
I love how me and Caleb are the only doomsday preppers, but you're living that lifestyle, bro. You're the one. You're on the ground.
You want to trade places?
No, it's fine. It's good. It's totally okay. Caleb, how's your week been, man?
Oh man, busy, dude. Busy?
Oh,
yeah. Dude, busy, bro.
Busy dude, bro.
Dude,
how's your day? Happy birthday, Muda.
Dude, my day is busy as well.
Everyone comment happy birthday, Mudahar.
Dude,
Plus L, plus fall off.
Smash like.
Dude, that's my favorite comment trend on YouTube. Every time you upload, it's like 1,000 views in a minute. You fell off.
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't know how that got so prolific. It's on every video.
Dude, literally, as soon as I start the video, I'm like, all right, it's like when we started YouTube, it was like first, it was like the one thing, like everyone had to jump in and like smash the first button. I'm like, bro, you guys are like actually abject morons. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I wanted to kind of talk about this week was, have you guys been breaking the law in your content lately? Have you guys been, violating the law for the world to see in 4K?
No, I'm not
the only kick streamer that is not doing that.
I'm not an idiot, so I don't do that kind of stuff, to be honest.
Oh, damn.
Wait, are you saying that people that are drinking and driving are stupid?
No, I'm saying that they are.
Yeah, twist it, Caleb. Yeah,
they're invertebrate jellies, supine invertebrate jellies, great supine invertebrate jellies.
You know what I find? So, you know what I think is really important is college. I think having some form of an education is really
or a real job at some point.
Bro, common sense. No. Forget real job or college.
That's how you learn that, though.
We all have been to like a school, right? Like we all have like a background. Like I'm a computer scientist. Like you guys have your own stuff. You guys have like a background, bro. When I make like content, one of the most like favorite piece of content is ripping on shitty scams like that Rabbit R1. I think it's a scam. Have you guys seen what happened with that like recent product? They released this $200 little fucking AI pin. Mm-hmm. And in like a day of its release, someone dumped the operating system, I say. It's actually just a fucking APK file. Like it's an actual like program that just runs on like Android or whatever. So like it's literally an app. You buy a hardware device for $200 and it's just chat GPT shit. And I'm like, ripping on that stuff is fun, right? Like having a background or whatever. When you don't have any background, the point of this whole spiel is that you end up doing drunk driving streams on Kick because you got nothing else, right? Like one of the wildest shit that I've seen, and I should probably preface this by saying, listen, breaking the law is wrong. You should never be drinking and driving. Damn. There were two people in a BMW streaming to a bounty of people, 114 on Kick, which a lot of users, right?
Even they're ripping a BMW. More followers on Kick.
Ah. Dude, how many views do you get? 400 views an hour? Like, wow, you fell off, dude.
Yeah,
what does that mean? No, but they're like drinking on like they're ripping their BMW down. I think it's New York, like interstates or something. Ripping the car in 100 miles an hour, some crazy shit. And then at the same time, they got Smirnoff vodka in their hands, just chugging it around and throwing it onto the streets as they're driving.
It's awesome.
And you know what the thing is? They haven't been arrested yet. They haven't been. I've been Googling this. I've set Google alerts. I'm like, have they been busted? I don't think they have. Or at least I haven't been able to find anything.
That they're actually getting away with it.
Dude, but then the other thing is like, so one of our favorite, most intelligent Kick streamers,
Neon.
the most intelligent, I just want to start off by saying Neon, you know that guy, Kyle 2 from South Park, the really stereotypical Jewish character?
Yeah.
You know, like all the Jewish people are like, man, I really. That's Neon to me. That's literally Neon to me. Like that's him to me. I hate myself, you know. So Neon decides to sit with like one of the most prolific street racing, I guess, degenerate streamers. I think it's Squeeze Benz or something.
Squeeze, yeah.
Yeah, and they're driving this 400
self-proclaimed most dangerous driver in New York.
So dumb, dude.
And then like, so they're ripping this Lamborghini Urus, which by the way, it's stupidest car to buy. $400,000 for an Audi. Get out of here. But so they're ripping this car down, and I have to do this like double take. Actually, I think I'm like remembering something else. They were going like 100 miles an hour down the New York freeway, and the car, I think it gets rear-ended or like squeezed at somebody.
He he changed lanes right in front of somebody, and he hit the front of their car with the back of his, and he just sped off. Neon ran out of the car, ran away, yelling, "I gotta get inside! I gotta get inside!"
It's like, dude,
like, bro, you streamed all of it. What are you doing?
But like Squeeze Benz is one of those weird guys too, where like I saw him drive a Porsche the other day, like on Twitter, and I shared this, right? And I'm like, I was freaked out because when he was driving the Porsche down the New York freeway, the digital speedometer on it said 200, and I'm like, oh my god, that's 200 miles an hour. That's like 300 kilometers an hour, dude. That's like in track speed and shit. Like the amount of influencers it takes. The kind of dumb like this is probably the stupidest content I think I've seen on the internet so far, because it's like I don't like one thing that I've learned about drunk driving incidents, and this is through like personal experience as well too, as sad as it sounds, is that the people who are the most innocent are the ones who die the first, right? Like, and then it's usually the drunk drivers that get out of it being scot free, you know, like no health loss, nothing. Only Use Me Blade, like we all know who that guy is, right? Like a total drunk abject idiot.
Yeah, freak.
If you Yeah, like if you watch an Only Use Me Blade stream and you haven't heard the N-word, then you did not watch an Only Use Me Blade stream. That's the kind of streamer we're talking about. 100%. Like, I remember one time I put on Only Use Me Blade to show, like, Jen and shit, and she was like, her mouth was like flabbergasted. It's like, he just keeps saying the N-word. I'm like, you think 100 times is enough? Try 6. Try enough to the point where, like, I remember, like, it was people were complaining about EDP 445 being hard to like commentate on because he would just swear all the time. Like, imagine doing a video on Blade. Like, you have to deal with a whole clan meeting in the editing room.
Dude, thank God it's not a pedophile, am I right?
Thank God for that. I mean, that's the only saving grace. But there is one thing he did. He is still a harm to children, okay? Just not in that way.
Yeah.
So there's a video of him on YouTube, like a full 7-8 minute video of him getting into his fucking car, ripping down like 40-50 miles an hour down a fucking residential street. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know, anybody who says God doesn't exist, show them that video, because the fact that a child did not walk onto the street while this dude was ripping his car past,
miracle,
rolling down the windows, screaming at people, that's a fucking divine miracle right there. So that was the level of streaming right there. Did you make a video on that, Caleb, or no?
I did. I recorded it last night. But it'll be on my second channel. It's I hate that guy. I like Squeeze Benz. I just don't understand. I just don't understand how you can do that, you know?
Well, like break the law and not get arrested for
it's
it?
the endangering other people's lives thing. That's just it's
insane. That's what bothers me.
If you want to endanger your own life, honestly, listen, I wouldn't advise it, but power to you. But you're gonna endanger other people's lives.
Damn. It's also weird too because like the kind of audience that they promote it to think that they're badasses because they just drive really fast, and I'm like, driving fast down the fucking interstate, the freeway, is not necessarily the hardest thing to be doing, right? But the reason why nobody does it is because, yeah, putting people into fucking danger is a problem. Caleb, you drive what? Raptor, right?
Raptor R, yeah.
Yeah, so your Raptor is pretty much up there with my Tesla, right? Like in terms of like getting up there to speed and like, you know.
Yeah, 3.7 seconds, 0 to 60.
Yeah, but what's the weight on your Raptor versus my sedan? Probably a lot more.
Raptor R.
If you like impacted somebody with your car at that speed,
they're dead.
They're dead. Yeah, they are gone. You know, they are facing the. And that's the weird part of the side. That's the weird side of it all too, because it's not even like Squeeze Benz. It's like other influencers as well too. And I think I saw Squeeze Benz like a bunch of times on Instagram, maybe crashing his car here and there, or just being an abject idiot. And I'm like, dude,
6,100 pounds.
Like, yeah, you're dead if you get hit by that, like at that speed, at highway speeds. So yeah, it's just like the weirdest part of content, and it's like Neon. Like Neon to me is like the stupidest Indian person that I've ever seen. Because like, here's the thing. All right, at the age of 30, my dad would beat the shit out of me. Okay, like we're talking, he would take off the fucking belt. I would be beaten as an adult if I sat in a car with Squeeze Benz, you know? And my dad's like, don't you know you're gonna die?
If Squeeze won't kill you, I will.
Yeah, literally, right? Like the reason why I wouldn't sit into a car, I'm like, I'm dying one way or the other. It's either really quick or really slow and painful.
For me, the funniest thing is like you just imagine the Weasel timeline, the alternate reality. The Some Ordinary Podcast is just Aiden Ross, Neon, and Johnny Somali. Just
Bro,
the
honest to God,
alternate
though.
reality.
Dude, but it's actually that would be the most interesting podcast I think we could ever watch. You'd have like content for days with the stories those morons could tell. No, actually, I'm gonna give Aiden Ross credit. Aiden Ross has gotten better. You know,
He has.
He has gotten a little better. Didn't he retire?
I think he did. But the thing is, if you directly compare Aiden Ross to Neon and Johnny Somali, it's like not even a comparison. Like Aiden might be stupid, but he ain't that.
Speaking of Aiden Ross, I have an Aiden Ross clip of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
We haven't done this.
We haven't done this in a long time. I was waiting for someone to bring him up. Now I put it in the chat. Feel free to throw it up, Muda. Aiden Ross clip of the week. We are so back.
Oh my God! And it also features somebody that I want to talk about in a video too.
Let's
Christ
go!
Almighty!
Let's go!
Yikes! Oof! All right, let me do this. Brave tab. Oh Jesus! This guy.
I love that clip. I've seen this. It's funny.
I'm fine. I'm just waiting for you to come and visit.
Just like for you to come and visit me.
If you abandoned me in jail and you abandoned me on house arrest, and now that I'm free to travel all over Romania, I think, well, surely he wouldn't abandon me again. Would you, Aiden?
He's such a fucking. He's talking like such a jilted girlfriend.
I'm waiting for you to plan your trip. It's Sunday today. I expect to see you before the end of the week. The end of next week. There's no excuse for that. You have plenty of money because you're overpaid for doing fuck all. So get on a plane. Come to Romania.
No, just look how he's talking.
I'll make it really fun for us.
And how long's the flight from Miami to
That's the
Romania?
problem.
I don't know, but you'll just sleep the whole time anyway, won't you? So who cares?
That's true.
9 hours, 10 hours probably to Germany, and then a couple more hours here. It's really not so far away.
And we're going to do good streams out there.
Jesus
We're going to have a
Christ!
great time and do amazing streams. I promise.
Dude, what the fuck is this clip?
All right. I'll do it.
Dude, he is like so pissed. Actually, speaking of fucking Andrew Tate, he's apparently going to fucking court now.
Ooh.
Like he's actually in. Like he's gonna be he's going to court for every single charge. I don't believe a single one has even been thrown out by the Romanian authorities.
Damn.
And apparently their conviction rating is like FBI levels, like 97, 98%. So, you know, he's got like maybe a percent or two chance of like maybe getting away from all of this. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty lights out for Andrew Tate at this point. So that explains his face right there in that clip. That was just unnerving.
The
but
demonic smile.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was time for Andrew Tate to kind of, I don't know, like what is and what is true in that case. Like, I don't want to speak out of pocket like some creators who are just like, yeah, the guy's guilty 100%. Like, obviously the thing has to go to trial. So, you know, who knows? Maybe he could be innocent. Maybe he could be guilty. We've seen wild shit come in courts all the time. So I don't know. But on a personal level, given the shit that I've read, I don't really have any high hopes for him winning any of this shit. But
Yeah,
it's
if
gonna
he
be
wins,
interesting
it
to
would
kinda
be a
see.
surprise, honestly.
Here's the thing about it. This is what I love about the Andrew Tate stuff. If he wins, it's a payday for us. If he doesn't win, it's a payday for us.
Yeah.
It's just content.
More
to shit
content,
on.
guys.
Dude, we are literally
Hell yeah,
the
dude.
vultures of the internet.
Bro, it's we
No,
love to
dude, not
laugh
us.
at this shit.
Not us, bro.
No,
Dude,
we're above that,
dude,
aren't we?
Dude, I love being like the vulture side of it because it's the funniest thing. Like I was watching these true crime channels the other day, and like some of them are just like, you know, these T channels are the worst. The commentary guys are the worst. I'm
Everyone
like, you're
hates
one
the other
talking
group.
about
You're all the
fucking
same.
children.
Yeah, it's all the
I'm
same,
like,
dude.
you're the one talking about kids and shit. Like, bro, what do you mean? What do you mean we're like the worst? The most controversial thing I talked about was Marquise Brownlee destroying shitty startup companies. That's a lot less skin in the game than like dead children or like people or anything.
No, but like
But,
it's like the grandstanding that everyone does. It's like, I'm a financial investigator, not a commentary channel. Now, Keemstar? Oh, I hate that guy. You know? It's like, bro, you're the same.
Dude, I love like the YouTube drama, like fucking weird internet, because it's like the thing is, it's like I remember like back then it was like actual to me it's weird, like there's TMZ shit, you know, or like, and I switch off completely when I hear stuff about like creators dating other creators or doing stupid shit. Like it doesn't even matter, you know.
Yeah.
But my eyes perk up when I'm like, oh, financial scam, drunk driving streams, hell yeah, actual criminal behavior occurring. So
That's
I'm
the
like,
dream.
damn, You know, it's awesome for me, right? Like, or somebody like faking deaths and shit. Like, that's super duper awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's funny as. But like, I don't give a shit about like the other drama side of it or whatever. Like the other TMZ shit is what I'll say, right? Like that's why I think T channels are so successful, because you've got like wine moms in their fucking 30s who just can't stop watching like literal desperate housewife shit going on the internet. And then like to compare that, like, but you're talking about a creator that stole like $1 million from a charity. It's like, come on now, that's just drama. I'm like, all right, weird umbrella term to be having over there.
Yeah, everything becomes drama at some point, and every group thinks that they are doing God's work, and every other group is just somehow beneath them.
Oh, I don't believe anything. God's work, you know, that YouTube work is not God's work. But speaking of YouTube stuff, speaking of like actual top tier drama, have you guys been following the FaZe Clan drama?
Yeah.
FaZe Clan implosion, dude.
Yeah, I have.
I have a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of give you guys like a little TLDR. So FaZe Clan, one of the largest esports brands in gaming, still is actually, and they're kind of huge in the esports circuits. I know, like before we recorded this, I played a game of Rainbow Six, and they're still selling like FaZe Clan esports gear in that video game, like microtransactions. It's a pretty decent brand, right? Like they have CS:GO teams, Siege, League of Legends, all the big esports are played by them. But on the esports side, that's one thing. FaZe is an actual brand. You know, it's been around for a long time. Since we were kids, we've seen Optic Gaming versus FaZe. These guys used to be recording Call of Duty trick shot montages, uploading them onto YouTube. Before, and this is the infancy of YouTube gaming, right? So, like, people, you had only two options. You could either come home and watch Angry Video Game Nerd or FaZe Clan trick shot montage 67 with, like, Evanescence running in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Now, clearly times have evolved, right? FaZe evolved. They became vlogging, lifestyle. And in the last several years, they've kind of become almost irrelevant, mostly because they're not making a whole lot of content. And there have been a lot of controversies, crypto-related controversies, which have kind of dropped. Exactly, drama. Drama involving, you know, financials being moved around here and there. So anyways, FaZe Clan, they kind of disappeared for like a year. They were on the stock market for a little bit. I think they started off at $20, and now they've been delisted. So just to give you an idea of how they're going, right? And I want to remind the audience that there were key individuals who told me I would be stupid if I didn't invest money into FaZe Clan.
I don't know. Whoever told you that has a thing for banks.
Look, I stay winning. It wasn't actually Banks that told me. Banks would never pump up his stock like that. I'll give one thing. Banks, I have never, ever found to be responsible for anything criminal in the financial state, right? Like, regardless of whatever anybody has an issue with, it's always, unfortunately, some of the people that are around him, you know, like in the Save the Kids stuff, that were implicated or at least alleged to be in like really bad shit. FaZe Banks, as far as I know, is a relatively clear dude. Anyways, I start this FaZe stock. It kind of crashes. FaZe is a company. They were like burning hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. Like at some point they had Snoop Dogg signed on.
Yeah.
So they signed on Snoop Dogg. And the problem with signing on Snoop Dogg is like Snoop Dogg made one post about FaZe Clan, wore like the FaZe Clan logo as a chain.
That was it.
Never one peep after that. But they paid him like 7 figs, from my understanding. They paid him a good chunk of change.
It's a lot in
Then you
Ninja
had
Grease.
like exactly. They had another girl from like Stranger Days, and I forget what her
Stranger
name is.
Things.
It's like Grace. It's like Grace Van something.
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the
true.
actresses.
Yeah.
And she was paid up the ass, but she also didn't really do much. And now she's with like another esports org, G2. So last couple days, FaZe basically cut their majority roster. Some of the oldest guard were cut off. And they replaced them with just like 10 people, I think, somewhere around that range of like the recent creators they added in.
So from what I understand, FaZe got really big. Every year they had a FaZe 5 competition where everyone would submit their trick shots and stuff in Call of Duty or whatever, and they would accept 5 people into FaZe, and some years more. And if you look at the people in FaZe, like metric-wise, their numbers aren't doing so well. Like some of the people in FaZe struggle to pull 10,000 views on a single video on YouTube. And I think for FaZe, they kind of wanted to make it look like the company's back in our hands. No more corporate overlords. We're back at full power. And they fired everyone in FaZe except for 10 people. Like the 10 people that were actually pulling views on their videos.
But they're still corporately owned.
They are, but Banks made this whole thing about how I finally got the passwords back, and it's like, whoa! It's no longer corporate.
It all feels like some Hail Mary to keep this brand alive, you know?
That's exactly
one of the
what
things,
it is.
and one of the reasons why I never really jumped into like esports stuff, and this is like, and again, it comes from like Charlie and
Ludwig.
fuck it, I think it's Disguised Toast, Ludwig as well, because the Ludwig and Charlie are together. Is that you don't really make money in esports? It's literally just a passion project, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you open the books to Moist Esports, maybe they might be breaking even just because like money might be subsidized. They're smart with their business, from my understanding.
Well, also the fact that Charlie can literally fund the entire esports team based on streams alone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's a big deal.
It benefits because they've got one of the top streamers in the world running it, one of the most watched streamers in the world kind of running it. But it's like in a general sense,
and advertising.
Like if we started,
right? Imagine Charlie running an esports team. That's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of advertising.
Yeah. But it's like very,
and even then he loses money on it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like if Caleb, if you started an esports organization, you might be able to fund it with like Sour Boys endeavors to an extent, you know. But it's like most people don't have that luxury, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, anytime somebody brought that up to me, I'm like, it is just a bad business to get involved in. And so FaZe, which is like one of the top organizations in the entire world, if they're suffering financially, a lot of that might have to do with the fact that the people that are kind of running it are dipshits to begin with to an extent, but it's like there's just really no winning in that sector. So it just feels like a whole Hail Mary from like FaZe guys. And, you know, who knows if it actually succeeds? Who knows? I want them to succeed just because, like, it's a kind of a gaming institution, you know? But at the same time, it's like, they're not doing anything. Like, I don't see, like, the FaZe guys uploading consistently.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, this is just it's just one of those things where you're making something corporate doesn't magically make it worth money or a viable business idea. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the first one. Yeah. The workings of it obviously are not worth it. I mean, it's just like from every single measurable facet of that business, regardless of where you're coming from, it just isn't worth it. It didn't work out. And it's not working out, and it doesn't look like it's going to work out. You can't have a business that's approached the way that FaZe Clan approached the business and have it be what it was. Like, it's just not the actual inner workings of the business. It's a YouTube thing. It's YouTube channels. It's not like this huge professional brand.
And when you run like YouTube channels, like part of the most important thing, and anybody will tell you is like the consistent uploading shit, right? Like you can miss a day or 2 or 3 of uploads, but if you don't upload for like a week or 2, it's like your audience gets like weirded out. Like you start getting the comments, it's like, where are you? Did you die? Blah, 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 blah. Like if you're not being consistent about it, then nobody's going to watch you. Like these guys upload videos, right? Like I think it was like FaZe Rain or whatever. Like he uploads like videos like 4 or 5 months ago. And then they're like, nobody's watching. I'm like, but your last upload was like, again, 4 or 5 months ago. It's like, what do you expect? It's like the audio, like you have to actually be producing videos for the brand to be worth something, right? Like, you know, or whatever in that nature. It's like, you know, Caleb, if you stop uploading for like half a year, are you going to complain about lost wages or lost revenues? Like, no, you didn't take advantage of your revenue stream for half a year.
It's not even my revenue stream. That's the business. That's the whole business. Yeah,
that's
it's like
corporate enterprise that they put it around. Yeah,
you can only roll around on electric scooters and smoke weed for so long before your business fails without actually doing any work. Like I would love to speak to the guy, like the corporate team, like the guys that went in and worked on it and just really understand like how possibly they thought that, like, it definitely could be this huge cool thing, right? FaZe Clan's very well known, but it's just very well known. There's no revenue coming from that well known part of it.
It's like the opposite business.
On the one hand, you're right. You're right about needing to upload consistently and all that. But also, I think FaZe, they blew up through FaZe, through that trick shot era, and they've never adapted their content at all to a more modern era. At some point, that idea is going to die. Here, let me send you a link to a channel, for example. This is FaZe Blaze. I did my research on FaZe just now. I didn't know any of these people. I didn't realize there were so many people in FaZe. So this guy has 3.6 million subs, and he's been uploading before he was kicked out of FaZe, you know, at least once a month or whatever. but he doesn't crack 10,000 views a video. And again, no hate to FaZe Blaze or anything. That he just didn't. And that's just one example. And if you look at all of these FaZe channels, like these massive FaZe channels with millions of subs that got there from the FaZe era, like you look at their videos and they just, I don't want to say they fell off, but they fell off. Like they're not getting that same views. And I don't blame them as much as I blame, like, I think a lack of structure from FaZe trying to get them to make videos for a more modern climate, which they really don't do. They still do the same content that was popping in 2014 or 2016. They've never adapted at all. Like here's another one. Scissors, okay? This guy was also FaZe. He has 4 million subs. FaZe Scissors.
Oh, Scissors.
He gets 20,000 views on a video on a 4 million subscriber channel, and he literally does upload. It's not like he's stopped uploading. He does upload. You know?
What about FaZe Rug?
Okay, I think they kept him.
Is killing
they kept him.
Yeah, because he's still very much killing it.
They cleared out. It's not that they wanted to keep the brand pure. They cleared out all the FaZe people that they recruited when they were hype to bring eyes to FaZe, and they kicked them out now that they are no longer relevant or growing.
Like, you think they're gonna kick FaZe Nick Merckx out, who's one of the top?
Yeah, no, obviously not.
Right now, no.
No,
yeah.
Like
he's the one that
they're kicking at the people that, even though they have millions of subs, they're not really bringing any new eyes to FaZe or making any real money.
The only way that something like this would work is if I feel like all the creators that were involved were so buttoned up and so enterprising and business oriented, like Mr. Beasts. If you had like 5 Mr. Beasts, and then a bunch of small Mr. Beasts as well, it would work maybe. But like, there's just no.
Find a Mr. Beast. It's much easier to.
Isn't
find.
that kind of?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what like Sidemen are kind of like? Like they got KSI and then like a whole bunch of the other guys.
So the Sidemen are different because the Sidemen's their business model is they started off with a certain amount of people. They never took anyone new into the group, and they never fired anyone from the group. It is the same group that they started with 10 years ago. That is the same squad. Like, that's a completely different business model. For me, I think a much better example would be like the VTuber agencies that are everywhere, right? Like, these guys, they keep hiring new talent. You know, sometimes talent leaves, either gets fired unceremoniously or decides to graduate ceremoniously. And they keep hiring new people and bringing new eyes to the agency with new talent in the agency. Like that's
it's like a United Talent Agency type of thing. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the VTuber agencies die. A lot of them don't last more than a year because, you know, it's hard to blow up on social media. But you know, some absolutely
I think a lot of the thing, like if you gave like the CEO ownership, like if you gave the direction to me, like for FaZe Clan, it would be like, listen, we gotta have like a niche, you know, like, are we gaming? Okay, let's stick to gaming. All right, clearly we're not doing the lifestyle rip around McLaren type bullshit. Like, maybe that worked for a year or two, but if you want to be gaming, right, like if you want to be respected in the space, we have like 3 or 4 big teams in some of the big games that we play. We make a huge deal about it, you know, like how Charlie does like Moist esports streams. Like, we got to have our own watch parties for our own team. We got to hype this shit up. We got to be the biggest hype beast for our team, right? 100%. Like, that's what sets us apart.
And in FaZe, they ignored everybody
doing it. Like, I don't see anybody, like, anytime that their teams are out there on the roster, like, nobody I see from their team hype beasting them up, right? Like, I haven't seen an esports game in a long time until I see like Moist esports, right? Because I catch it through a Charlie stream or like his video, right? I have no interest I haven't watched a professional gaming tournament since the days of G4 TV, as sad as that sounds. And that's just because, like, you know, it's not like there's an ESPN or something where you can flip on a channel and watch like the game on Sunday, right? Or like Friday or whatever. So it really is through like streamers. If you're not streaming or like not your hype beasting your shit, like if Sour Boys made a esports team, I wouldn't watch it if it was like on a platform. I'd watch it if like Caleb was live streaming it or Nux or anybody, any of us, right? Just because that's like the only way I think that kind of content gets really consumed. Same with FaZe, same with Optic, same with any of these groups. So I think the FaZe stuff is fun to watch just because it's like an institution that's like on its way out, almost like, you know, adding an extra ring.
It's so weird
for us
because it's like such a personal thing too that they're just immediately they're trying to make corporate and then just extract money from it. It's like the same thing happened to Smosh on a smaller scale, but like Smosh failed and then Defy sold it. Good Mythical Morning bought it, and now I think Anthony and
Yeah, they got it back.
Yeah, they got it back. So it's like, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's like no one gives a about the brand if the people who made you give a about the brand are not active and don't care about it anymore. Like you can't just attach some random guy to it, some random corporate dudes to it. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works.
Well, it's like I had the same discussion too. It's like I had a buddy outside of YouTube. It's like, how much you think you could sell your YouTube channel for? I'm like, honestly, if somebody was intelligent, $0. Just because they realize that as soon as they buy my channel,
it's worthless.
The moment I'm missing from it, the videos are gonna get like 20 views. That's it. Like,
yeah, exactly. They're fucking worthless, dude. So whenever you immigrate from Canada to the United States, which you eventually will, and you have to declare all your assets. Give me your channel. Let me kill it. All right. And then I'll lower your net worth by a substantial amount, and then I'll hand you back the reins once you step foot on this soil, and then we can get it back.
Then Caleb will drop a video how I conned Mutahar out of his channel.
How I scammed the CRA.
Yeah.
Dude, I could never come back.
At least your guys don't have guns, though. Go ahead.
No, I think that's like, I think it's the wildest thing is, it's like, it just sounds like the most Republican thing I'll ever say, but taxation in very extreme circumstance like this is straight up actual theft. I don't understand the idea of exit taxes. I don't get the idea of what an exit tax
I don't think that's Republican, to be fair.
That's pretty right wing.
Aren't you guys against taxes, though?
You guys.
You
That's
guys,
not a Republican
right-wingers.
thing. Republicans and Democrats both have consistently raised taxes, and they pretend that they don't want to do that. They both suck.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Isn't the party of the is usually smaller government and then less taxes? I know the Dem side, the liberal side,
I
raises
think
them.
maybe on
both
the whole,
sidesing this.
I think that on the whole, that could be the understanding that some people would have is smaller government, but a lot of them say that. And then they continue to regulate. I think
they pass shit like the Kids Online Safety Act and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's nonsensical. It's like rules for thee, not for me. I would say the party that would be the most against taxation without representation would probably be the Libertarian Party or some kind of independent Green Party, something like that.
Well, like
constitutionalists.
The thing with the taxes and everything too is like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say taxes are all evil, right? Like taxes pay for some of the public roads I'm on, the school that I went through as a kid, right? In some cases, I get it. It's fine. But like the whole exit tax shit, like leaving the country and then having to declare and then paying like a final price, it's like, well, why?
Yeah, you're stupid.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
you're dumb as
what? I earned the money, and now you want to take idiot. An extra chunk out of me?
And also when people when people die and shit,
that's the worst thing.
Dude, how about like just
tax?
all of it? It could all be solved by just making parts of it voluntary. It's like, hey, like have a giant tax write-off for the next 5 years if you donate 50% of this estate tax of this estate or whatever. Like, why not just shake hands with the citizens that build your gigantic fucking racket instead of just stealing money from them repeatedly every single time that it changes hands? Dude,
I just sometimes I feel like Brandon Herrera, one of my favorite creators right now, he's getting into government and shit. We should all just be like, dude, this whole mafia,
let's get into government, dude.
Stake into it. We should
get into government.
It's the biggest racket. It's the biggest mob enterprise
drama channels.
World. Dude, you know what? Actually, that's such a good point. I hate when anybody complains about drama and shit, and then their ass is watching Fox, CNN, all the actual crazy, insane drama that happens on a daily basis in the political sphere.
Dude, seeing Fox News making fun of Biden falling down the stairs, that is bargain basement drama content. Okay?
Dude, that's the most TMZ shit in the world.
Right? That's the type of video you'd see on Moist Critical's channel, okay?
Yeah, and then these Tucker and Jesse Waters are good. My favorite Fox moment, I will press this, is when they brought a Reddit mod onto television. Dude, that was
the anti-work
I remember
guy?
when the anti-work guy or whatever came on, the dog walker. I was just like, I was afraid to show that to my dad, because my dad would be like, see, this is the problem with your generation. Y'all don't want to work. Walking dogs isn't a job, it's a hobby. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. He comes onto the they bring a Reddit mod on TV, and he gets absolutely obliterated by somebody with the slightest media training imaginable.
Good times.
No, I think what's wild about it too is like the people that have complained the most about the commentary type of content do like political content, but then they're like more drama oriented than ever. Like I've watched maybe like I thought about making this video, but I canceled the idea just because of like how annoying the comment section is going to be. I watched like all these political streamers, Hassan, Destiny, Vosh, Matt Walsh, all these political types, right? And I'm like, if you took a mathematical analysis of their channel, it's all just at each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a group of people
that hate each other
in one niche. Exactly. Like
wild.
I don't even think in our community we've ever made a video directly calling out other creators as much as these guys do in the span of like a week.
It's just normal though, because they're all politically aligned differently, you know?
Yeah, and then it's fine like to just like
they have like
shit on and go.
For the
at
most
them.
part, they have the same politics, right? Like there's slight nuances in their politics that are different, but for the most part, they all have the same politics, and yet they hate each other. Like vitriolically.
Well, those nuances, I think, are reason to hate each other. Like if you have any sort of nuance on certain topics, then that's just
they don't even hate each other for the nuances. They just call each other brain dead, sellout, grifter lords. Right, that's what they go on stream and call each other.
Yeah, that's the argument that. But I mean, like we all have disagreements.
I completely
like,
agree with all of them, though.
Yeah. Look, we all 3 people in this call right now. We all probably have a disagreement on one big pressure topic with each other, but it's not like we're all gonna go at each other.
You just called me a Republican.
Well, I'm a Republican.
You're not a Republican, bro. What the?
What are you talking about? What gives it away?
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yo, Caleb, how many wives do you have?
None.
None.
Damn, fake Republican. Moving on.
Not yet, at least.
Damn.
Dude, okay, but here's the thing. How is that even a slur? Like, I've seen people who are like calling somebody a conservative is like the worst thing in the world. I'm like, how though? Like, it's just one alignment that they have. It doesn't necessarily mean the worst of somebody, right? Like, what the?
Yeah, it's just like being conservative now is like latching on to just weird, because like a lot of conservatives, their conservative kind of belief is just hinged. A lot of them think Ronald Reagan is like the savior of man, basically. And that's like 80s cronyism. Like, just you're the victim. Being a conservative, in my opinion, is you're the victim of a great 80s psyop and like just propaganda war. You lost, and you believe that these things are just like amazing. And same thing with being a Democrat, which is like a dirty word where I'm from. Like I used to.
The D word.
I used to, when I was a little child, I used to be like, Dad, I bet he's a Democrat. When I was like a little kid, you know, like.
Oh my god!
And my dad's not like a Republican or anything. Like they're all extremely reasonable, and like they vote on shit that's like matters to them, right? They're not just one side fits all or whatever. It's like whoever's representing them the best in that election, that's who they vote for.
Yeah. Well, they're educated. They vote and they read the actual policies and understand. Versus the team sports types of people on the internet.
Yeah, I feel like
if you ain't
anyone
voting
that's
for
just
Biden, you ain't black. Like,
oh, I remember that. Oh god. No, I feel like anyone that's just completely aligned with a certain group just purely because that's what the group are. Anyone that calls themselves a Democrat or a Republican and purely needs every single one of their opinions to fit that side, kind of, I feel like lost the
it's small-minded. It's small-minded. It just doesn't make any sense. And also, the people who I can actually dislike genuinely are the people who say that, you know, not as people. I don't dislike them as people, but speaking in this world, because I feel like when you get out of the political world, most everybody can get along in some sense.
Yeah.
I think ideologically you disagree with.
Of course, yeah. It's just like. A vote for the third candidate is a vote wasted. And then they're like, I wish there was someone else to vote for. I wish there was somebody. I wish we didn't just have 2 parties. And they're like, well, you're throwing away your vote. What are you? Or something. And it's like, no, actually, you're stupid. You've fallen for the greatest scam of all time. You idiot. You stupid idiot.
I'm not sure who in that story you were making fun of. I imagine both people.
A lot of people.
Okay, good.
Dude,
a lot.
My
name
favorite,
20.
My favorite candidate right now is Brandon Herrera. I just want to say,
God,
the funniest. So every time I open up like social media, there's this guy called Tony or something. Tony
Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. Dude, Bro, that guy deserves the award for most ratio politician in history. Dude, Nux, let me tell you, there's an Islamic tradition, we call it Bakrid or whatever, where you like sacrifice an animal or something, right? Some Abraham Isaac shit. Every time I load up Twitter, this is getting slaughtered on the TV.
It's so bad. It's so
Like-
fucking bad.
Dude,
And-
he comes on, he's like, "Go ahead, sorry." Kevin.
No, it's so bad. It's embarrassing. And that guy, I don't even know who support. Like, it's. Have you seen the hate ads that he does? He does like takedown
on
ads. Of,
Brandon, yeah.
They're just all fake. It's all lies. It's crazy. It's like,
so like
you have
Go
to
ahead.
learn how to misrepresent to be able to be a politician. To be able to, you have to quite literally be a crony. You have to be bought and sold. You have to be the ultimate grifter. To be like, there's this huge just wave of YouTubers who never made it on YouTube. They say fucking politicians are actors that are ugly, right? Like that's like an old saying.
yeah.
That's true. They're all grifter pieces of shit that are just doing what they do for money. And there's maybe a couple that aren't, but almost all of them are just liars. They're fucking pieces of shit, dude. It's crazy. It's fucking insane.
Dude, we had so like Nux, for since you haven't been on social media, this guy Tony Gonzalez, right? He's like one of the acting congressmen for Texas right now. So Brandon Herrera, one of the largest gun channels on YouTube, great dude, awesome guy, front of the channel and everything. He has been basically memeing his way into Congress, like actually memeing his ass in. So this guy Tony has been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it's probably up to $1 million at this point in just attack ads on Brandon. So some of the attack ads involve Brandon basically being against U.S. Army veterans, right? Like that's one of the big
He'll
points.
just make up his talking points and then
he literally
yell at
takes
him
out
for
a
it.
line of shit and goes against him. So there's like video series where Brandon on his channel uses like old school weapons, like an MP40, which historically belonged to Nazi Germany, right? Now, in this video, it's very evident that he's not endorsing the Nazis,
Oh
right?
my
Like
God.
he's not going like the MP40. Third Reich knew what they were on about,
Yeah.
boys. Let's go. He doesn't do that. He just talks about the engineering. Tony will take a clip out of that video and be like, "You see that? You see that Nazi,
Nazi.
sympathizing piece of trash?"
Piece of shit.
That's amazing. I feel like that's
Feel
the
like-
best advertising you could possibly get.
And then Brandon just so like Tony will get like after putting on all this money, Tony will muster like 30 likes on Twitter somehow. All right. And then like Brandon comes in, makes one response, 9,000 likes right there. It is like the most extreme level of responses that I've ever.
I would say that kind of thing just transcends politics overall, because regardless of political side or leaning, regardless of what Brandon's beliefs are, regardless of what he's going to be supporting and voting, I know he's doing it genuinely. Okay. And I would prefer that guy to win over this just like, it's cringe and cliche to call him a puppet, but this guy's a idiot puppet. It's ridiculous. I would rather have someone who cares from any side of the political spectrum than that guy. Like that guy is the worst possible choice you could ever make.
That's not true. There's always Ian Miles. Chung, hold your tooth.
Oh,
Dude, I love.
you're right.
Dude, that is my favorite Elon best friend. Dude, like, holy shit, he's my favorite. He's my favorite Elon's like buddies, because every time I see him on the timeline, it's just stupid take after stupid take. And
I said
for
the
some
R word
reason-
earlier. I'm sorry.
oh, it's fine. I just said it. It's fine,
The
dude.
hard R.
We're good,
Yeah.
dude. That was my favorite time, like hanging out with like just the guys, the unsub boys or whatever. Because as soon as I went down there, I'm like, all right, is this going to be like the old days, or am I going to have to watch my tongue? And then and then I'm just one. I'm like, all right, boys, are we or not? And they're like, oh, hell yeah. It's like, all right, cool. This is what I can with this. No, it's such a weird thing, because I remember one time I was at like VidCon, and there was like a bunch of these like kind of I'm going to call them the Among Us creators. Then we can figure out who the fuck they are. So like I'm over there, like I'm in an Airbnb, and I'm like, that shit is so fucking. Like I say we're like a few times. And like the look on some people's faces, like that must be a gamer thing. I'm like, no, that's just being a guy. Like,
Yeah.
what the? But yeah, no, it's such a weird thing to be sort of seeing a friend of our show memeing himself into the United States political system.
Crazy.
And I'm all for it. Like I want him
Same.
to win just because.
Same. Yeah. I think like once again it transcends politics. It's like this is an honest person who wants to do an honest person who I know who has bent over backwards for me for nothing in return at all. And like that's we would have a much better. The country would be substantially different if that was the norm instead of just having people who get into politics because they see a path to mamaking a lot of money.
I mean,
well, it's
honestly,
like having somebody reasonable is like always the most important part. Sorry, next, go ahead.
No, it's continue. I'll say after.
Because like when I sat down, and I talked to him about it too. Because I'm like, it was always interesting to me, like somebody running for the political system, and like my talk with Brandon, it's like I even said it to him. I'm like, there's probably a bunch of things me and you don't agree on because I'm like historically left. You seem like you're more right, but we all had a great conversation. We talked. We had a dialogue. We were like, all right, there's things you agree on, I don't. Blah blah blah. But at least you care about what you're doing. I would vote for anybody that actually gave a shit about making the country better versus, you know, trying to follow what the approved dialogue is for a politician, right? Because usually I find that anytime like you vote for somebody, one of the politicians that I hate, who, and this is from like, I want to say the last federal election in Canada, this, by the way, will not name her, doesn't matter. She shows up to the mosque like once 4 years, right? Like once every election cycle. And like the last time she came over, she started shaking my hand. I'm like, I only see you once every 4 years. Don't you be shaking my hand.
Goddamn.
You just want a goddamn vote from us. Get the fuck out of here. She's like, but the Liberal Party is for you, Muda. I'm like, dog, I'm going to vote for the
anyone
I'm going to vote
else
for the anarchy. Yeah, I'm voting for the Mad Max Party of Canada. Taking us to the goddamn post-apocalypse before I even think of voting for your grifting ass. Get the out of here. It's that kind of shit that like always drives me insane. It's like even the politics on the internet, like I used to watch it because it was like at least a little bit like nuanced. Now it's like just anger and like nonsense coming out. Like I saw this clip today of like this one kid trying to attend university at Columbia and like these protesters are like just standing there like preventing any entry. I'm like, dude, you're just making everyone look bad by being a total
dude, the entire American university system right now is like in complete shambles. Like it's insane.
Dude, I knew a guy back in my university days, bro. He would go on a tear anytime the teacher cut class. Like anytime our professor like cut the class, he was like, I'm paying $150 a class for this place, and this asshole can't show up. Like that guy would be livid if he couldn't attend campus. He's like, I'm taking time out of my day to come to this shithole.
Did you see there was just a clip? So there was like a protest in Columbia, and they went into the Hamilton building in Columbia, and they like barricaded it. They closed it off. They didn't let anyone in. Like that was part of their protest, and they ran out of food and water in that building because there's no food there. They just barricaded the whole thing off. And someone comes out to request them to supply them with food and water. And the reporter was like, why would we do that? You could just leave. And her response was, we require humanitarian aid right now. And it's like, bro, you could just leave the building, go home, get food and water. It's like,
did nobody tell them one person could leave and get the food and then come back?
No one told them.
What the You know what I hate about this is like I don't have an issue with protest. I think protesting is a great right. You just can't be stupid and protest. You got to be at least somewhat intelligent. Real. Like send one person out to grab it and come back. Speaking of like those protest videos, the channel that I've been watching, who's been covering all of that, this channel covers everything. There's only one YouTube channel you need if you want to keep up with the world, and that is Asmongold.
Yo, because he reacts to everything that ever happened. I know,
bro. You know what's insane? Like, it's at a point now where the Asmongold reaction comes before the news article. I don't even know how maybe he has some like time dilation technology that he developed in his
probably
crack house or something. But Asmongold can.
Hey!
Asmongold, he can shit out a reaction any day.
That's not a crack house. That's a crack home.
Yeah, that's true. No, but to no disrespect of Asmongold.
Yo, did you see he reacted to our podcast, the one that we were like talking about his lore with Chris?
Wait, no, what?
Yeah, so he reacted to like that whole chunk. He's like, they're talking about lore about me. This is insane. And a few people in his chat, like, they got butthurt on his defense. He's like, they're making fun of him for being a goober, and they came into our comments. You didn't, okay, whatever, but they came into our comment section.
That's
They're
pretty
like,
funny.
wow, I can't believe you would insult him like that, and he's just laughing the whole time that there's Asmongold lore.
Because Asmongold knows that, like, here's the thing. He shits on himself. We all like shit on it, right? Like, that's the thing with Asmon. He knows that his house is up. Dude, there's no man who honestly admits that he has a blood wall, a dead mouse alarm clock, without knowing that there's going to be a little roast that happens. We all do it, okay? And it's like, to no disrespect.
Like, the funniest thing is in the thing, like, Caleb says that, yeah, Asmongold looks like a farm animal. And then his entire chat is like, wow, that was uncalled for. And Asmongold's like, honestly true. Honestly true.
Oh man. No, but Asmongold's been covering everything, and to be fair, like his takes are always really well done. I will say the one big trend, I think in most cases, obviously with somebody uploading that much, there's going to be a few takes that you probably don't agree with. I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he'll sometimes say, but I think in general, when it comes to
honest.
Yeah, like at least he's being himself, right? Like, and when he's talking about, like, recently there's been like this weird controversy. You know that game Stellar Blade?
Yeah, the hard R game.
You guys been following that? Yeah, the hard R shop game.
Yeah,
tits in your face. So this is one story where I really feel like I'm not personally so affected by it, but I will speak out on it because of, like,
it's funny.
So I make a lot of consumer protection shit. Like, I talk about, like, hey, consumer rights, like, don't get over by big companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this game was on its way out from this one company called Shift Up, and if you watched any promotional material on this game, you probably wouldn't know what the game was about. All you would notice is, like, the chick dressed very scantily clad, right? So they basically promised that they wouldn't censor this game. Like, you could see basically all of the naughty bits on this character, and the day before the game drops, they release a patch that just hijabifies her, you know, like, relatively compared to what she originally was. Like, they cover up some of her clothing, everything. And so what has happened is it sparked up this internet controversy called #FreeStellarBlade, because a lot of people have been blaming Sony for imposing censorship or whatever on this game, which I'm gonna tell everyone, a lot of stuff gets what is the word for that when, like, you bring something over and there's
I know what you're talking about.
It's like they bring something over. Yeah, localization, exactly. So it's like if you release a game in Saudi Arabia, you know, let's say GTA 6 comes to Saudi Arabia in some fashion.
Right, they remove all the gay characters, for example.
All the gay characters are gone. Flags removed, okay?
Yeah.
Transgender, all of it's gone, okay? Women in bikinis, not happening on South Miami. They're all in burqas and everything. Guns, I don't know what the Saudi Arabian belief on that is, but whatever, cool. In America, okay, they'll restrict some of the cleavage and everything too. So it sparked this big controversy, hashtag like free Stellar Blade, and the guy behind it, one of the developers for Diablo, this guy Mark Kearns, he's been like the ringleader of it. So apparently a few of the people against him put out like hits on him, like death bounties, like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Very clear jokes, by the way. Like, I wouldn't take that shit seriously. If somebody quote tweeted me and said 50,000 for Muda's head, I'd be like, all right, cool. Some unhinged loser on the internet.
So there was a streamer, Denims, I think, that actually went out there.
Oh, she's a dumb.
Yeah,
by the
and
way.
she goes out there and she's like, you know, $30,000 if you could make Asmongold disappear. Like, it's just something that's not something you say, I think, online, especially because, you know, everyone's audience has a couple of crazies in there. Never know.
Well, I think it also just makes you look brain dead stupid. Like, she is, yeah.
True.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like the people who are taking that shit so seriously, I'm like, man, the internet is in a lot of ways like incredibly soft. And it's like, I feel like in some ways the people in this call might be the only ones that can take the internet relatively seriously. Like, I mean, Nux, you're Jewish. You've already been destroyed on that platform. Okay, I saw a Hitler speech the other day, like just trending around. I'm like, that's crazy. India has lost all of its. Can I just say, India as a country has the worst public relations team in history. I have never seen an entire country was hated on so hard in the span of 6 months than I have India. Like, the amount of like poo in the loo jokes, Pajit street shit or stuff that I have to contend with now, I'm like, dude, it is a minefield.
Honestly, I feel like it's rough out there for everyone. I feel like everyone gets shit right now.
I feel like racism is kind of bringing us together in a lot of ways. opposite sound.
Racism
'Cause
is
it's like
so back.
Everyone's just getting hated on equally, dude. Equally, everyone's just getting shit on in every capacity. It's like old school 2004 and 4chan at this point. And in some ways, I don't really even mind it all that much because I guess growing thick skin really helped. But man, if you're like somebody new on the internet thinking of the innocence of it, Jesus Christ, probably want to stay away from Elon's social media. But I guess one of the things I want to end on too is, have you guys seen that Cybertruck shit?
Yeah.
Which
That they were
Cybertruck shit?
recalling all of it?
The Tesla Cybertruck?
The recall.
Oh, yeah, the little the gas pedal, how it like goes and clips off.
Yeah, it just
Wait, what?
The gas pedal stays down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a bonus. That's a squeeze Benz
No, that's
add-on.
really bad
What the
though.
fuck?
Like as far as of
course it's
it
bad,
doesn't
dude.
get much worse.
Dude, what the? I did not know that. I just noticed about the build quality being like slightly up on it. Jesus Christ!
Another
I
thing
heard
a
they
lot of people are
recalled the
complaining
fuck out of
about. You know how they made the car basically bulletproof. Like
Is it not bulletproof?
no. So the issue with that is a lot of physicists started talking about this. When a car crumples, it absorbs a lot of the impact whenever it gets hit. If the car doesn't actually crumple, then you are taking the whole brunt of the hit. So it's actually
Wait, what?
right, because like imagine you're playing billiards, right? You knock one pool ball into the next one, it'll fly at the same velocity, right? But if it would crumple the other pool ball when it hits it, obviously it would go much slower because a lot of the impact is absorbed in the hit. So by the fact that the Cybertruck is bulletproof, it actually makes it so much more dangerous if you get into a car accident.
I kind of want to test the well, I don't want to test it on
get
me,
Neon
but
to do it. You don't need to do that.
fuck, we can get Neon to be the crash dummy. I kind of one content idea I've been kind of thinking about is like buying a Cybertruck to test the bulletproof efficiency of it.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
I'll go half and half with you.
That sounds awesome, honestly.
All right, let's fucking do a 50-50 on it. Let's fucking drop it.
Bro, the Brandon
Because,
Herrera Elon Musk collab. We've all been waiting.
I feel like we should do that because I don't know if like Brandon and like those guys have it. I feel like we should buy a Cybertruck, drive it down to SA, and just like take it to the ranch and be all right. Let's run some tests on this because that thing's supposed to be bulletproof up to what? Like it can take.
I think it's like a 45 or something. I don't know.
You think? Do you trust Elon though on that? Do you trust him with your life?
I mean, yeah, just like energy, it really just because it's definitely not going to be like a level 4 plate, right? Like it's not a 30-06 is going to penetrate, and anything with any sort of penetrator, and a steel penetrator or like a tungsten penetrator is going to penetrate. Like you will be able to shoot through it for sure. I have probably 15 guns that I guarantee you would penetrate it.
Okay,
guaranteed.
But bulletproof does not mean there is no bullet on the planet that will pierce it.
No,
okay?
that's why bulletproof is a bad term. I think
there's levels to it. I mean, like for a bulletproof vest or for plates, there's level 1 through 4, and even level 4 is bulletproof for 1-2 shots for like a high-powered rifle, and then beyond that 1 or 2, then it's going to obviously.
like a real bulletproof car, like a real actual like
those
proper
are bulletproof.
military level ones.
Yeah,
those would cost a lot more than $100,000 though.
But also weigh. It would just weigh so much. You would need a ridiculous amount of energy to propel it. I feel like
recently.
Also, the rear panel was pinned, but with a 9mm, so it's like not even close. It's just little thin aluminum sheeting.
See, like the thing that I've like sort of seen mostly about that car is just like how, like I saw one video of it that freaked the fuck out of me. Like all the red alerts started listing off in the car or whatever.
Yeah,
like
the guy had to scroll and scroll until you get to the bottom of all the alerts. That's rough.
Yeah, that was rough. But that's actually like a pretty standard like kind of Tesla experience. I remember when I bought my car, like 2 weeks after, like I was just driving on the road. Immediately stops like 10 kilometers an hour. Like you have to like take it to the side and like I look into like power steering, all of the things were removed out of the car. And when I take it to, like it had to go on a flatbed back to their service center, and I asked them what the issue was, and it's like, yeah, bad firmware update up the computer. I'm like, couldn't you like reinstall or do some of the firmware? And they're like, no, we're just gonna we're gonna replace the whole computer system. I'm like, man, these guys, I don't know if that's like an efficient way over at that car company or whatever. But the other thing that they did, and this is when I was out at Vegas, so I wanted to start off by saying Gordon Ramsay makes the worst food in the history. cuisines. That guy is the worst. Dude, I will never watch another episode of Hell's Kitchen and have this limey talk shit about anyone's food. Do you know how bad his... The only good thing at his restaurant was mashed potatoes, which you can't fuck up. You can't fuck up mashed potatoes. I refuse to believe.
What are you gonna do?
Is he in there making it
boil
though?
too long?
Huh?
He's not in there making it for you.
Well, he's not in there making it, but he hired some dumbass.
Dude,
that
if he
could be as
takes
good as
credit
him.
for the wins, then he takes the responsibility
Dude,
for the L's.
No, see, I treat restaurants like YouTube models. Okay, if I made a Some Ordinary Gamers 2 and I hired Dennis Dipshit working for that channel and he produces the worst stuff for it, you know who's gonna get shit for it? Not Dennis. It's gonna be me. I'm the one that gets shit. I'm the one that people yell at on Twitter. That's exactly how I treat Gordon Ramsay, dude. So I want to just paint this picture. Me and Jen, we were like, oh, fuck, let's go and get some Gordon Ramsay steak.
Oh god.
So we're staying at the other end of the Las Vegas Strip. Okay, so we're just like, oh, we'll just walk our way over here. Okay, let's do it. We have the time of our life watching 4 arrests by the Metropolitan Police in Nevada take place in front of us. 6 crackhead encounters on the whole walk over to Paris of Las Vegas. Going to this place. They don't got no reservations, no nothing. We sit at the bar top or whatever. So I like this thing called beef tartare, which is raw beef. I swear to God, it's the first time in my life that I felt like I was going to get worms eating food. Like, he puts out this... Like, at that moment, I should have known the food was going to be bad. So he brings out this dog shit lamb chops. And, like, they're overcooked. Like, bro,
Oh my
this
god.
has been on Health Kitchen
It's raw.
about food being...
It's leather.
Food being 5 under, 5 over. The food... And then, like, you know, the funny thing is, like, the waitress comes up to me. It's like, are you enjoying your meal? As I'm sitting back and the utensils are there, I'm like, yeah, I'm diving right in.
God
Clearly,
damn.
you see me. And this is not a cheap meal, by the way, too. It's
No.
a Gordon Ramsay meal. Everything is priced out of... Everything is at least, like, $90, okay, US. So it's not like a cheap endeavor. That is the most disappointing meal that I've had in my life. At that moment, I was like, man, I could have went to the CVS pharmacy and had some Cheetos and would have been more satisfied than this travesty of an experience.
Well,
But yeah,
I, on the other hand, have a lot of respect for Gordon Ramsay.
Do you really,
You
though?
wanna
Because
collab
you make
with him?
better looking food than him.
I do. I definitely don't make better food than Gordon Ramsay, just to be clear.
Bro, your Wellington with... I guarantee you... Okay, I'm going to say your Wellington versus anything at his steak restaurant, I bet you would come out on top.
But that's not
100%
Gordon Ramsay, though.
What do you mean?
That's not him. He would beat me for sure, but maybe the people at that restaurant, potentially.
Have you seen that grilled cheese that he made?
Yeah.
I didn't see
I
it.
don't know. I don't know if he's beating you, bro.
The Charlie
I don't
video.
know if Ramsey's beating
Let's see.
you on that one.
Gordon. Oh, also, Cybertruck's probably like level 2 plates. I just watched a video of it getting shot with a 9mm and it stopped it, but a 223 went through. So it'd be like soft body armor, very, very not bulletproof at all. Very underwhelming.
Very, very shitty selling point to
Exactly.
have. By the
Why
way.
would you even say it's bulletproof? Let's see. What was I going to look up? Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay grilled cheese yucky.
And
Yucky.
while he's while he's looking that up, the funny thing is, do you know what they did to the
Ultimate grilled
autopilot
cheese.
stuff for Tesla? No, they cut the price by $6,000 on the autopilot software.
God damn.
So I was like sitting there, and like usually you buy for $8,000. So the funny thing that Elon did was he priced it for like $99 a month. And for some reason, I'm pretty sure somebody at Tesla was like, "Bro, nobody's gonna buy this shit for $10,000 when they can get it for $100 a month, you jackass." So they just like kill the value of it.
Bruh. I don't know.
And
I'll
then
be
there's, like-
honest. I really love my Tesla. Like, I really...
It's a good car.
I really like
I
it.
enjoy it.
It's not even melted. That's so funny.
Yeah, that
Dude,
was a famous...
dude.
Charlie made a video on it back in the day.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, it's his food. I'm questioning. Dude, it was like literally 9/11 for my taste buds. Like I did not feel that it was such a shock to my system. Like Jen was sitting next to me, she was just like, "Oh my god," he is like so thoroughly disappointed. I'm like, "Yeah," because I had, dude, it's like meeting almost like one of your like gods of Olympus, and it's such a lie the entire time.
Yeah.
You meet your
Like,
idol
now-
and it's just underwhelming.
Dude, I realized how people become haters, like actual like dedicated haters. Like,
Most people
bro,
don't even have to experience it though. They just hate for no reason.
dude. Like when I sat there, I'm
You
like,
had a
bro,
reason.
so if I wasn't doing what I do for, I would become the biggest Gordon Ramsay hating channel on the internet. Like I
That's
would
so
learn.
funny.
I would go to the nicest culinary institute, and every single video would be like, but like outclassing Gordon Ramsay at this dish. Like just beat that would be my sole existence. I'm like, dude, the food was so bad, and like everyone defending him, it's like, well, he didn't make it. I'm like, well, no shit, dumbass. He didn't fly from London to cook the meal, but he still hired a dumbass that represented him. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And it like everyone that I talked to, like everyone was like, you fell for a tourist trap. I'm like, it wasn't about that. It was about experiencing my boy Ramsey and then becoming his hater in a span of 1 hour.
That's rough.
Hell, dude. But yeah, that was pretty much what it comes down to. I guess the only thing we didn't cover was the Ethan Klein stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently how he's an alleged. Well, he is an apparently, before we end it, we've all dealt with crypto scammers, right? Caleb hired one by the name of Dylan Dennis at one point. Can you rewind? Can you remind us about how that story went? How
With
Sour
Dylan
Boys
Dennis?
did it? Yeah, how did that happen again?
Dude, CoffeeZilla, I was snowed in, and CoffeeZilla was like, I've got an idea for a video. And he messaged me, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored as shit. Let's do it. He's like, follow Dylan Dennis and see if you can send him. Let's see if we can make a fake crypto and see if we can get him to promote it. So Coffee made all this stuff, and we used Sour Boys. It was like sours.
Sour NFTs, yeah.
Yeah, Sours NFTs. That's what it was. Yeah. And we used like Sour Boys and all these different logos and everything. And he made all this really cool stuff. Coffee did all the work. And then I asked Dylan to promote it. I was the patsy. And I went out, I reached out, and I'm the middle point, contacted him within a minute or two. It was so easy to get him
That's crazy.
to do it. We sent him $500, I think, and then we were going to send 1,000 after.
Oh my
and it was
God.
just like it was a switch. As soon as he promoted it, we swapped the website out that he probably didn't even look at to all of his scams that he had done.
Mm-hmm.
And even the contract that he signed was like, this is not real. This is not real. We're going to send you a little bit of money, and in return, we're going to expose you as a liar and scammer and massive piece of shit. And by signing this, you agree to you agree to let us do that or some shit. It's been almost a year now, but it's been over a year.
Still funny.
Still,
Dude,
hilarious.
it's
genius.
It's insane how you probably caught him in between coke binges. He's like, I need money for cocaine. What do I do? Oh, here's some money being wired to me right now. I just gotta sign this thing and tweet out something. Sure,
Easy.
why not? It's the same thing with like a lot of the I remember like Drake and Josh, like Drake Bell was promoting it was a weird coin that he promoted not too long ago. It was like something MAGA coin or it was like QAnon coin or some insane shit. Like
What?
crazy stuff. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Not in those
No.
Look up
words.
Drake Bell QAnon coin.
Yeah, I did know he was involved in that. I mean, but anyway, the reason why this started is because there was a video made by somebody by the name King of Nothing, I think. It's like a 2-hour-long video, basically attacking H3H3 for all the reasons why he's ever gotten into drama, plus also calls him a crypto scammer because he sold NFTs, and the NFTs are worthless now. And compared him to Logan Paul scams. When Ethan saw this, he said, yo, I never claimed that this was a money-making opportunity. I made these things and sold them, and people bought them, and it's obviously it's going to go down to nothing. People just decided to do that. That's not me scamming people. And then he said that this is slander, and I might sue this guy. That's kind of how that story went down. And
Ethan loves suing people.
yeah, dude, lawsuits are content.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like getting sued as content, but suing other people, that's risky behavior.
I don't know.
But I think he has a case. A case in the sense that being called a financial scammer is not good in any capacity, right?
No.
So
Yeah,
if you're
no.
going to do that,
No.
you better make sure you have all the evidence. So this guy, what the problem is, he jumped on this stupid trend where it's like anybody crypto NFT related or scammers, and I'm like, I may not like there's a big difference between somebody selling like a cryptocurrency or like an NFT project and then a scammer, right? Like if you're selling something with the intention of like misleading people, and like if you're a BitBoy crypto, right, who's been named in a lawsuit, if you're selling shilling stuff kind of telling people getting rich with this or boosting your returns to like 100K. Cause that's a lot different than like if we were like, hey guys, here's like a Some Ordinary Podcast NFT. It's not going to be worth anything. It's just 1 out of 100 digital collectibles. You want to buy it, go for it, 100%. The only thing it might be able to do is give you access to like an episode a day earlier, and we would find a way to do that. That's it. The only utility it does.
Yeah,
that's not a scam. That's fine. If Ethan did that, which from my understanding is all he did with the H3 NFTs, then he's not a scammer. You know, I think that's the weird thing. It's like a lot of these guys will latch onto one topic, and that's a big problem that I find with like a bit of the commentary stuff. Working on this Keffels video and like researching this nutcase, you know, it's you have to be able to dot your I's, cross your T's, do all of that shit. And there's probably things that I can say that I can get away with, like actual slander, because you can put it into a whole bunch of shit and like people just believe anything you toss. And that's what I kind of feel like happened here. It's like these people in the quest to make content literally are just slandering or outright not researching or doing it or being purposely facetious just so that they can get like an own or like a view or like, you know, something over other people. It's weird. But yeah, 100% on Ethan's side for this one. There's no way that the guy is actually
that's obviously not a scam.
Yeah, 100% the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. But
it's just crazy.
This episode's been fun.
There's like a level of mental illness that comes with making commentary videos, like having to always figure out something that someone's doing wrong and stuff. And like I remember thinking that to myself. I was like, man, I wonder what Sniper Wolf's up to lately. And then I was like, I gotta stop. Shut up. I got to make content about real stuff instead.
Real. Yeah, but my favorite part of that the video about H3H3 is the description says this. This video is an opinion and in no way should be construed as statements of fact. Scam is a subjective term that means something different to different people. Like, okay,
dude, that is what a idiot, dude. That is such a stupid. I love it when like people drop the one disclaimer without realizing. Like,
just I think crypto has just become synonymous with scam for so many people on the internet at this point. Like, I don't know.
Never ever do crypto. Never buy a cryptocurrency.
Same as like YouTube sponsorship. It's like, oh, you're sponsored by a company? Well, it's probably a scam.
Dude, that's what I love about like YouTube like I've had people who are like, I've had somebody like message and like comment that's like, you know, Sour Boys is like white label or something, like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a whole story about how it's not.
Dude, that makes me so. I see on Reddit, I like to read hate comments on Reddit. I love reading hate comments just in general because it like it doesn't affect me. I know that I'm not putting my you know, I'm not 100% transparently all of my life is on the internet. I feel like I would have way less hate, right? Because and same with everybody. Like you there's a certain level of playing into the content to make things more fun or whatever, and you have to. It's like it's being your personal life is sacred to an extent for me. So when I read comments like that, that's the only stuff that bothers me. When it's like, oh, he's just white labeling and lying about it. He's just another one. And it's like, no, actually, me and my 40 employees are not white labeling candy. Okay. Like I have to deal with so much shit and like, it's nothing compared to YouTube. It's like YouTube is here. It's hard. The candy thing is here and we're doing our best.
Okay, no, but the irony is I just mentioned this to Muda a few days ago. It's like everyone thinks like they'll drop a hate comment on Twitter and that will literally ruin your day. Right. It's like YouTube is the smallest part of all of our lives.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I 100% prioritize it, but like the feedback, it's not a big deal. If there's anything that I can use constructively, I will absolutely apply it wherever. Like I'm not going to be like Ronda Rousey or whatever and just be like, well, I'm making excuses all the time. But like I see people say really dumb shit all the time. And I'm like, if I were to comment to this guy, if I were to respond to this guy, I could with him for 15 minutes and then get him to know the truth and he'd be a fan. I have to stop doing that. I have to not do that. Because I know that like they just don't know. They just don't understand. And that's the same shit with most content creators, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's sacred. Having a normal life is sacred.
It's like, you know, I bet this guy has no... actually, I do, in fact, you know. you could respond.
Well, actually...
No, it's anytime dealing with like some of the like insanely like dumb comments, it's just always like, bro, I am like YouTube for me is like I come home, make a video, tune out as soon as I hit that blue publish button. I'm already in the other room doing something else with my life, so it doesn't really bother me. You know?
Playing Manor Lords.
Bro, I heard that game is good.
It's so good. I am a massive City Skylines dork, and it is like City Skylines just a little bit better.
Should I buy it?
Oh,
Worth
dude,
buying?
it's so good. It's so good.
I know what I'm doing right after this podcast. Goddamn. But speaking of it, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we had a good episode this week, man. I feel like we talked about a lot of shit. Good structure, good everything.
I like the guestless episodes sometimes, honestly.
Yeah. We need to get Asmongold on. I need to apologize to him about calling him a farm animal.
Oh, by the way, new Asmongold lore drop, by the way. Do you know?
Wait,
so I mentioned on the latest one that he never ate fruit. Now I know the lore reason why he never ate fruit. You know why? Because if he ate an apple, his teeth would fall out. It's a condition.
What?
Dude,
Not, bro.
just to be clear, too, like, I think I called him a child of Nurgle as well. I think I, like, made a Warhammer joke. And I, like, when, you know, I know, we know he reacts stuff. I didn't expect him to react to that at all, to be honest with you, and I didn't know he did. But, like, I'm going to watch it. I hope he thinks that it was funny.
I really think
I hope he thinks
knows.
It was funny.
There's like a vibe.
I hope so.
Content creators in general, I think they have a vibe with like boundaries of other content creators to some degree.
Yeah.
Like we poke fun out of each other. We're not actually getting offended, you know, when you make fun of me, right? But like, in the comments, I feel like a lot of people don't get that layer of sarcasm. That
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, like with the people that we have, like, and like we would only talk about Asmongold if like we had the respect. There's a big difference. Like if I say I think Neon is an absolute hard idiot, it's actually valid truth to that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that was
people know
sarcasm.
that, you know,
You're actually a fan.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
I think
Neon's
he's brain
an idiot.
Oh,
I have no respect for Neon. I have an immense amount of respect for Asmongold.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Asmongold. I think Neon is a waste of functioning organs, but yeah, there's a big.
And I also had a 3-month just watch fest of Asmongold a couple years ago too.
Big ups, big respect to our buddy Asmongold. At one point, we're gonna have him on here, and we're gonna confront him about the Apple story, and we're gonna ask him about his diet plan.
I'm gonna confront him. Yeah, I'll confront him. No, I like Asmongold. I think he's a really interesting dude. He's very based and very red-pilled.
Very based and red.
Wow, I knew you were a conservative.
Unlike our boys, fresh and fit.
Dude.
All right, boys.
I just tease him. All right, buds.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good one. This is all of us, and we are out.